Before we call cholesterol bad, let's understand something important. Cholesterol is not poison. Your body actually makes it. Every single day, it builds cell membranes. It helps produce hormones. It helps make vitamin D. Without cholesterol, you cannot survive. So cholesterol is not the enemy. The real question is balance. Where it travels, and where it gets stuck. That is where the problem begins. Cholesterol cannot travel alone. It needs carriers. Think of them as transport vehicles. LDL carries cholesterol from the liver to the body. HDL carries extra cholesterol back to the liver. So LDL delivers. HDL cleans. If delivery trucks increase and cleaning trucks decrease, traffic builds up. That traffic is the beginning of plaque. Inside your arteries, there is a thin protective layer. It is called the endothelium. It is only 1 cell thick, but it is powerful. It keeps blood flowing smoothly. It prevents unwanted sticking. It releases chemicals that control pressure. When this layer is healthy, your arteries stay flexible. When it becomes damaged, the story changes. What damages this protective lining? High blood pressure, smoking, high blood sugar, chronic stress, lack of sleep. Over time, these create tiny injuries. Not wounds you can see, but microscopic irritation. And once the surface becomes rough, LDL particles can enter more easily. This is how biology connects to lifestyle. When LDL slips into the artery wall, it does not stay normal. It undergoes oxidation. Oxidation means chemical damage, like iron rusting. This oxidized LDL is more dangerous. Your immune system reacts. It sees it as a threat, and inflammation begins. Now plaque formation truly starts. Your body sends immune cells. These are called macrophages. Their job is to clean debris. They absorb the oxidized LDL. But when they absorb too much, they become swollen. They turn into foam cells. This cluster of foam cells forms what we call a fatty streak, and this can start very early in life, even before symptoms. At first, fatty streaks are thin, then smooth muscle cells join. Calcium deposits appear. A fibrous cap forms. The artery wall thickens. The inner opening becomes smaller. This is plaque. Not sudden, not dramatic. Slow, silent, year after year. Here is the dangerous part. At 30% narrowing, you feel nothing. At 40%, still nothing. Your body compensates. It increases flow. It adjusts pressure. So you believe you are healthy. But inside, the process continues. This is why heart disease often feels invisible. Now connect this to daily life. Sedentary lifestyle increases LDL. High sugar diets increase triglycerides. Smoking damages the endothelium. Poor sleep increases inflammation. Chronic stress raises pressure. On the other hand, movement increases HDL. Sunlight regulates hormones. Balanced meals protect vessels. Biology listens to daily habits. A lipid profile test measures the balance. LDL level, HDL level, triglycerides, total cholesterol. This test does not show symptoms. It shows risk. It reveals what is happening silently. And when you detect risk early, prevention becomes possible. Understanding today protects tomorrow. Not all plaque is equally dangerous. Some plaques grow slowly and become stable. They develop a thick outer covering. Blood can still flow past them. Risk increases gradually, but other plaques are unstable. They have thinner caps. They are softer inside, and these are more unpredictable. The danger is not always how big the plaque is. Sometimes it is how fragile it is. Your body is intelligent. When fat accumulates in the artery wall, it does not ignore it. It tries to protect you. It builds a protective shield. That shield is called the fibrous cap. Think of it like concrete, placed over a weak surface. If the cap is strong and thick, the plaque remains contained. If the cap becomes thin, the risk increases. So the problem is not only fat, it is structure. Why does the protective cap weaken? Chronic inflammation. High blood pressure creates mechanical stress. Smoking increases oxidative damage. High blood sugar changes proteins in the vessel wall. Inflammatory cells release enzymes. These enzymes slowly thin the cap. This does not happen in one day. It happens over years. Silent chemical stress. That is why lifestyle and biology are deeply connected. When the cap cracks, the body reacts immediately. It thinks there is injury. Platelets rush to the area. They stick together. They form a clot. Normally, clots stop bleeding. But here, the clot forms inside the artery. If it blocks blood flow completely, oxygen stops reaching heart muscle. And that is a heart attack. People often say, it happened suddenly. But look carefully. Plaque formed slowly. The artery narrowed gradually. Inflammation weakened the cap. The rupture happened in seconds. But the preparation took years. The event was sudden. The process was not. And understanding this changes how we think about prevention. When blood sugar stays high for long periods, it does more than raise numbers on a report. Glucose begins attaching to proteins. This process is called glycation. It stiffens tissues. It damages the delicate inner lining of arteries. The endothelium loses flexibility. Inflammation increases. LDL becomes more likely to enter the wall. This is why diabetes multiplies heart risk. Sugar and cholesterol are deeply connected. Insulin is a messenger. It tells cells to open their doors and accept glucose. In insulin resistance, the doors stop responding properly. The key still exists, but the lock becomes stiff. Glucose stays in the bloodstream longer. The pancreas produces more insulin. Over time, metabolism becomes strained. Inflammation increases. Triglycerides rise. HDL falls. And plaque formation accelerates. When you consume excess sugar, your body must process it. The liver converts extra glucose into fat. These fats are called triglycerides. Triglycerides travel in the blood. High triglycerides often signal excess sugar intake. They also reduce HDL levels and increase small, dense LDL particles, which are more likely to enter artery walls. This is how sweet foods quietly increase cardiovascular risk. When several problems appear together, risk increases dramatically. High blood sugar, high blood pressure, high triglycerides, low HDL, abdominal obesity. This cluster is called metabolic syndrome. It is not one disease. It is a pattern driven by lifestyle, and it dramatically increases heart attack risk. Not all body fat behaves the same. Fat under the skin is less dangerous, but visceral fat, the fat around internal organs, is metabolically active. It releases inflammatory chemicals. It worsens insulin resistance. It increases triglycerides. It lowers HDL. This is why waist size often predicts heart risk better than total weight. The story of cholesterol is really the story of metabolism. Here is an important question. Can plaque disappear? Complete reversal is rare, but stabilization is possible. Inflammation can decrease. The fibrous cap can thicken. Risk of rupture can fall. Blood flow can improve. The body cannot erase history, but it can slow progression. It can make dangerous plaque more stable. Prevention is not magic. It is biology responding to consistency. Movement is not just about weight loss. When you move, blood flow increases. HDL rises. Insulin sensitivity improves. Inflammation decreases. Blood vessels release nitric oxide. Nitric oxide relaxes arteries. Even 30 minutes of daily walking can shift biology. Exercise is not punishment. It is chemical protection. Food affects arteries in two ways: quality and timing. Highly processed foods cause glucose spikes. Repeated spikes increase insulin resistance. Whole foods digest slower. Blood sugar stays stable. Triglycerides remain controlled. Eating earlier in the evening improves metabolic rhythm. Your arteries respond to what you eat. And when you eat, sleep is not optional. During deep sleep, blood pressure drops. Inflammation reduces. Hormones rebalance. Chronic stress does the opposite. It raises cortisol. It increases blood pressure. It worsens insulin resistance. It damages the endothelium. Your heart does not only feel stress, it biologically responds to it. Knowledge is protection. A lipid profile measures LDL, HDL, triglycerides, total cholesterol, but numbers must be interpreted in context. Age, blood sugar, blood pressure, family history. Testing once is not enough. Trends over time matter more. Prevention is a long-term strategy, not a single report. Numbers matter, but they must be understood correctly. Lower LDL generally means lower risk. Higher HDL is protective. Triglycerides should remain controlled, but targets depend on risk category. Someone with diabetes needs stricter control. Someone with prior heart disease needs even lower LDL. One number does not fit everyone. Risk decides targets. Some people need earlier screening. If heart disease runs in your family, if you have diabetes, if you have high blood pressure, if you smoke, if you have central obesity, risk multiplies when factors combine. Heart disease is rarely caused by one thing. It is usually accumulation. Early awareness changes outcomes. Heart disease has two phases: silent phase and symptom phase. During the silent phase, arteries narrow quietly. No pain, no warning. During the symptom phase, oxygen supply becomes insufficient. Chest discomfort begins. Breathlessness may appear. By the time symptoms occur, the process is already advanced. Prevention must start before symptoms. Protection is not complicated. Regular movement, balanced whole foods, controlled sugar intake, adequate sleep, stress management, regular blood testing. These habits reduce inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, increase HDL, lower triglycerides, stabilize plaque. Small daily consistency creates long-term protection. This was part 2. You now understand how cholesterol behaves, how plaque forms, how sugar connects, how inflammation weakens arteries, how lifestyle shapes biology. Heart attacks do not begin in the emergency room. They begin silently, years earlier. In part 3, we will simplify how blood tests predict risk before symptoms appear. If this made complex science clear, please like the video. It helps this information reach more people. Subscribe to follow the full series, and share this with someone you care about, because understanding is the strongest form of prevention.